The 766 edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up using promo code MMASGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your gambling transactions. Just go to edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN. And finally, we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMN.
Howdy ho, degenerinos. We are back. Episode 766 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Already gave one to Orange Chicken Meow, didn't I? Have I given? Yes, I already did, which is a great name.
If not, we talked about the name excessively.
Yes. Who should I dedicate to? Dono88, who says, great show. Thank you. Yes, thank you. It is a great show. And thank you for acknowledging it's a great show. I'm one of your hosts. I'm the, what's my new name now? The Princess Possum, Jeff Fox. And we are here to wrap up UFC Seattle with aka UFC Fight Night Cejudo versus Song. Today is all about the main card and our fancy dancy plays at the end. I say we, not royally. There is, if you're watching YouTube, you know there's a smiling guy beside me. His name is Daniel Gumby Vreeland, and he is going to he pulled out a lot of surprises. Maybe we shouldn't be surprised, but in case we forgot that he's a wild man, sometimes he went wild on the prelims with some surprising plays, at least in my eyes.
A couple of them were bigger dog stabs, but I think the value is there on both of those. And you should go back and watch last episode so you can decide if I am crazy. Also, I know this card has taken some hits and stuff like that. In terms of this being a main card, still pretty kind of a stacked fight night main card, right?
If you like Gions, this is the Gion episode. We have back-to-back Gion already. So.
Yeah, isn't it Gene Matsumoto though? It's Gian Silva and Gene Matsumoto.
It might be, but same spelling. So
or Jan Matsumoto. It might be Jan.
Now you got me confused. Now you got me.
I don't remember which one. Yeah, it'll throw you off. But you got a former champ in a fight trying to defend his spot against a guy who we've all been excited as an up and comer for like 10 years now, right? Like he's been a exciting young fighter for now 10 years.
He's still young.
Hernandez versus Allen is like the dark horse fight of the division, right? Like that's the coolest part of it, is that like both of these guys constantly slept on as actual challengers. And then you got Gian Silva, you got Matsumoto, who's a fun prospect, you got Rob Font, who looks new and improved, fighting out of TriStar MMA. Right. There's which by the way worked a lot better for him than it did for Calvin Kattar. Because when they said it on the pre-fight show, we didn't have to go back down the Calvin Kattar threw 4 punches rabbit hole here. But like when they said it on the pre-fight show, they're like, oh, he moved to TriStar just like Rob Font. And I was like, sick. He's gonna fight like Rob Font did. He did not. He did not fight. He did not do that. That was, by the way, one of the worst fights I've ever watched. It wasn't.
There were
fun
some interesting fights. Yeah.
Yeah. And no, we don't have to. We don't have to go down that Yusuf Zalal rabbit hole either. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm going to do my best, and we're going to.
He won. He won. Oh yeah, you didn't pick him. That's why you're extra salty.
But not only. Oh, you're going to make me go down this rabbit hole.
Yep,
I hate that. Not only did he. You're right. He won. No doubt in my mind. He won rounds 1 and 2. But like the guy he was fighting through landed 18 head strikes in a fight that never hit the ground.
Yeah.
And somehow he lost a round. Like just take that in as a piece of information. He lost a round to a guy who only landed 18 total strikes in a 15-minute fight to the head.
Yeah.
And he still managed to lose the third round. That's how little he was doing in this fight, which is like truly perplexing. And then if afterwards he had the gall to say that Kattar was greasing and clearly had Vaseline all over his legs. So I was like, dude, you didn't even like really get in on any shots. Like, I don't even know how you would know that. And then on top of that, he was like, people are only hating on that performance because this is what happens when you get to the top 10, I guess. And then like the updated rankings came out and he was 12th, and I was just like, perfect. Perfect in every way.
Where did you for sure you were one of the people that made sure
I think I had him at 12. I think he came in exactly where I had him. I might have had him 13. But like I think currently I have and it's hard for me to remember exactly my rankings, but I think currently I have Lerone Murphy 11. That performance, you can't put him in front of Lerone Murphy after that performance, right?
No.
Yeah, it was more of me. Like there was more me dropping Calvin Kattar down after that performance than there was me picking Yusuf Zalal.
Yeah, but this is not a Yusuf Zalal episode, no, is it?
No, you made me talk about it.
I made you. Boy, I didn't know you were holding a lot of anger there. So it's good that you got it out. It's good.
And I like talking to Yusuf Zalal. That being said, always been a good.
Yeah. We'll see if he ever comes back on your show again. I'm sure he's going to hear this. All right. Before we give you the winning at picks today, we'll see if Gumby is sticking with the dogs or not. If you are looking for a free daily picks for college basketball, NBA, college baseball, NHL, and more, or download the SGPN app free in your app store. All right, let's get into UFC Seattle, aka UFC Fight Night Cejudo versus Song this Friday, Seattle, Washington, in the Climate Pledge Arena. 6 p.m. is the prelim start time, so the main card would be probably like 9, I would guess, right? I think they usually take 3.
Yeah, that's a reasonable guess.
There you go. I'm nothing if not reasonable. All right, we got 5 fights to break down, and then our fancy plays at the end. So stick around to the end. We're starting off with light heavyweights: Alonzo Menifield versus Julius Walker, one of those who dat fighters on this card that I was talking about yesterday. He's juice box Julius Walker. I think it's Julius Juice Box Walker, actually. Do you know why he's juice box, Gumby? Have you ever spoken to him?
There's a really nice social media clip I would encourage you all to watch. That was posted on Cage Side Press's socials this week. The on the site boots for Cage Side Press, which is a site I do some work for, doing excellent work this week. So make sure go check it out. It's a good story.
All right. Mr. Juicebox is 6-0, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. This is his UFC debut. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Right. Get the shirt, get sticky with it in our store, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. Used to fight at heavyweight, 4 inches height, 5 inches of reach over Menifield, 12 years younger, plus 200. Menifield, atomic. Alonzo Menifield, 15-5-1, 10 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 8-5-1 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight, both via knockout. And he's gone 4-2-1 over his last 7. That sounds better, right? A 2-0 in Contender Series. Used to fight at heavyweight, 1-0 Bellator, 2015 Pro MMA debut, -225. I always start off these episodes. I'm taking a dog out the gate, Gumby, a new dog too.
Oh, this is
you don't like this one? I've watched
one.
I've watched him. He's all right, and I have no faith in Alonzo Menifield, especially after being knocked out twice in a row. Walker is pretty decent everywhere. He's obviously never fought anyone like Menifield, and he's 12 years younger and he's way bigger. So I will roll the dice here. Gumby does not like it. He's going to tell you why. He's in an atomic Alonzo Menifield.
I don't. I like Menifield. I contemplated, making my lock of the week Menifield. To be honest with you,
do it. I dare you.
I'm pretty low on Walker being ready for the UFC. Of the 2 new guys they signed, I think he's the far more green one. If you watch the way he strikes, his legs are really stationary. Like he just kind of locks in and throws, and even when his opponent's moving, his legs stay in place. And then as a result, like it's really easy to just change angles on him and hit. And like, not that Menifield might be great at that, but he does a little bit of that. And I think that's going to really hurt him. And then the other thing is that like Walker very obviously wants to wrestle all the time.
Yeah.
And I personally don't think he's very good at it. If you watch his fight with Niall Bartling, and granted Niall Bartling was, like a pretty good wrestler in his collegiate days and stuff like that. Bartling just does whatever he wants in the wrestling for the most part. He pins him up against the cage. He takes him down. He only won that fight because he pulled a submission off of his back. And, first of all, I don't think Alonzo's going to go to the takedown. So I don't think the submission off his back's going to work. But I do think it just like goes to show you that like maybe his offensive wrestling game isn't there. I mean, like if I were in your shoes, and I was like, I'm going to go get in on Julius Walker for some reason, I would just encourage you to play the sub line. Because while the money line might already look really good, I don't think there's any way he wins this fight unless he pulls like a submission out of his ass on Alonzo Menifield when he does something stupid. And you'll
does do stupid things though. You can count on
he
him
occasionally does, but you know what? He usually does something stupid and like gets himself knocked out.
Yeah.
And I like don't see Walker doing that necessarily. You know,
we'll find out.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think he's agile enough on his feet to make him.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, he's not super smooth, that's for sure. But I'm rolling the dice anyhow. Why not? Right. All right. We are moving on to our next fight. I disappointed Dad with my pick, but maybe I can win him back for this.
That was a bummer. I was like, if you're gonna be in on one of the new guys, go get in on Makanico with me.
I didn't. I liked what I saw with Walker more than it's more of the opponent too. I dislike, but we'll see. Gian Silva. He is a Gian for sure. He is from. He is a nerd as well. He is from Brazil. He's fighting Melsik Baghdasaryan. He is not from Brazil. You probably can guess by his last name. He is from, and by the flag beside his name, he is from Armenia, right?
Yes. Shout out Ryan H.
Shout out Ryan H. This is he's going to show up in the Discord this week. That means for sure. Let's tell you about Baghdasaryan first. The gun is 8-2 with 5 knockouts. He's been submitted twice. 3-1 in the UFC. 8-1 over his last 9. He did win his last fight. That was back in July of 2023. He's not lost since February 2023. Helps when you don't fight. Used to fight at 155. Missed weight before at 145. 2014 pro MMA debut. 9-2 as a kickboxer and a champion there. 3-0 as a boxer. 2-inch height, an inch reach over Silva. Better striking stats than Silva. And he's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 2.22 strikes per minute, plus 450. Lord Silva, you can call him. 14-2, 11 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. 3-0 in the UFC. All of his UFC wins have come via knockout or TKO. He's fight at bantamweight and lightweight. His missed weight before at 145 as well. 1-0 in contender series. 4 years younger than Baghdasaryan. More active landing strikes. Better grappling stats than Baghdasaryan. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 0.94 strikes per minute. Minus 500. The biggest fave on the main card. And we kick it over to Gumby.
Yeah, Gian Silva. Come on.
Yeah. A striking fight, and it's gonna be a striking battle. And who do you like better as a striker? There you go.
Yeah, and like we've seen Melsik get going on his feet before, but like he's a little bit more tentative. He's certainly not as violent. And like, who is the guy who like knocked him down and took his back right away and choked him out? Like I could see Gian Silva doing that too.
Sure, yeah.
Do you remember man, why can't I remember the name of the guy who did that?
Look it up real quick, but yeah.
So maybe I could see his face, which is the most annoying part of it.
Josh Kulabau.
Yeah, Josh Kulabau. Thank you.
Silva hits harder than Josh Kulabau.
Quite a bit. As Drew Dober. Drew Dober, the guy with the notorious chin, got the crap kicked out of him by this dude. Excuse me. And that's the part with me that's like so hard about this fight. It's like I don't understand why they booked it. Like, how do you go from beating the living crap out of Drew Dober at lightweight, and then they're like, "We'll send you back to your actual division and give you Melsik Baghdasaryan." And I'm like, man, I really thought they were going to book him with a Lerone Murphy. I thought that's where we were going here, or with a Calvin Kattar, book him with Yusuf Zalal. Like, not going to be able to run away from this dude for 15 minutes. Like,
no,
I'll take Gian Silva here. Negative 550. I don't really have a nice way to make this look good because last I looked, it was still in the negative 200s on his KO prop.
Yeah, and you said it could be a sub too.
Yeah, I could see him clubbing sub. I mean, like, even the sub line wasn't tempting enough here, but probably a good daily fantasy play. You could probably look for underdog fantasy, higher than one finish and stuff like that.
Yep, very, very true. Yeah, Silva is the picker, as I said. Striking battle, and he's going to outstrike him. And if he wants to grapple him, he could outgrapple him as well. So Silva is our man in this fight. Gian. All right. Before we kick it to more winning plays for you, let me tell you about Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstake site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. Best part is no credit checks, and it's completely free. Sign up today. Use the promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status so you can make Al Horford plays. That's edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. Edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport. plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy to deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out the El Horford prop lines. And of course, you're going to want to check out the UFC Seattle lines there. And when you do head to mybookie.ag, make sure you use our code MMA SGPN for 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. All right. Another Jean Matsumoto is fighting
Jay Matsumoto, like
J.
Homer
Dot
J.
Matt-
Simpson.
Yes, exactly. He's fighting against Rob Font. 3 5-minute rounds, 140-pound catchweight fight. I will tell you why in a second. Let me tell you about Font first. 21-8, 9 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been submitted once. 11-7 in the UFC. 1-2 over his last 3. 2-4 over his last 6. He did win his last fight though. He has missed weight before at bantamweight. Was a regional champion. Used to fight at 135, 145, 155. He's fought everywhere. Now he's at 140. Used to fight. He has been fighting professionally since 2011. 2 inches of height, 3 inches of reach over Matsumoto. Better striking stats and more active landing strikes than Matsumoto. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 1.86 strikes per minute, plus 150. Matsumoto, no nickname, but he hasn't had a new nickname in our Discord for a while.
Quadruple triple whale super champion, as coined by Michael Bisping.
Yeah. Usually the name changes. So we'll see if it changes again this week. He's 16-0, 3 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's 2-0 in the UFC. He's taking this fight on short notice, hence the catchweight. It's very short, isn't it? Isn't it like
it is, but also he was supposed to fight next week.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So short notice right. In that like it's a different opponent, which is true for Font too. Right. And then like he had to shorten his training camp by a week.
Yeah. Yeah. So not horrible. 1-0 contender series, small bridges championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. sportsgamblingplugins.com/store. He's fed at 125. 12 years younger than Font. Better grappling stats than Font. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.15 strikes per minute. He is at minus 155. Now, shockingly, I'm taking Rob Font, even though I usually fade Rob Font. I'm taking Rob Font here. Maybe it was the case because I wrote an article about it. Maybe that's why.
No, I didn't. I don't read anything.
You don't read my stuff. Thank you. It's not just a short notice thing. He's a much better striker. This is a big step up for Matsumoto on very little preparation time. Maybe it's Matsumoto's hyped up too much, and I'm pushing back against that. Who's to say?
He didn't look great against Brad Katona. So I'm with you on this one. I'm also taking.
Oh, yeah. Well, you always pick Rob Font, though, don't you?
I mean, I took him last time when everybody doubted him.
Yeah,
I was like, hey, he's up at TriStar, and he was, I think
the camp too. I forgot about that aspect.
Ayman Zahabi was like, hey, we have Rob Font up here now, and told me, like, dude's doing good work and stuff like that. And then, I picked him. Everybody else still fading him. Made me look like a genius. And, still being kind of underrated here. You're right. The shorter training camp for Matsumoto might be a little bit alarming, but also like the last 5 pounds should probably help that. So like maybe I'm not keeping that in mind, but you're right. He's a better striker. And like Matsumoto didn't look great against Brad Katona. And I do not rate Brad Katona very highly.
No, well, he's Canadian, so.
No, he's Irish now.
He's Irish Canadian now.
He's got an Irish accent for a Canadian guy. So
definitely does.
Yeah, it's confusing as hell. But like, in that fight, like Matsumoto like didn't look great in the takedowns. I think he gave up a takedown or 2 in there to Katona. Like that's not the kind of stuff you want when you're fighting Rob Font, because Font defends a takedown fairly nicely. He was just in camp to fight Dom Cruz. So he was getting ready to try to stuff a couple of takedowns, because it's not like Cruz comes with the same kind of angles he does anymore. So you knew that that's what he was going to be digging for, is takedown after takedown after takedown. And so like he was already preparing for that style of game. So I think he's going to piece him up. I think also the cardio is going to be way better come the second and third round. So give me Rob Font. I like him here too.
Yeah, Matsumoto is not going to put Rob Font out early. Rob Font's been finished once, so
he's tough as hell.
Yeah, exactly. Give both of us fun. Gumby can't even let me have a dog. Oh no, you let me have a dog earlier. You were disappointed in my dog.
Yeah, it's all that one's all yours. You can have him.
All right, here is a fight that's a rematch, an LFA rematch taking place in the UFC. Both fighters have elevated since then. Brendan Allen, Anthony Hernandez, 3 5-minute rounds, 185. All in. Allen is 24-6, 5 knockouts, 11 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. 12-3 in the UFC. He's 7-1 over his last 8, but he did lose his last fight. He's fight at 170 and 205. He did lose to Hernandez back in 2018 in LFA. He lost his LFA championship to him, is what happened. That was the regional championship. He had 2015 pro MMA debut, 2 inches height, 2 years younger than Hernandez. He's been outstruck in the UFC, but just barely, minus 0.04, plus 240. Fluffy Hernandez, 13-2 with 1 no contest, 3 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 7-2 in the UFC. He's won 6 straight, 4 straight via finish. He's not lost since May of 2020. He got no contest in Contender Series, but he actually had won that fight originally. Was the LFA champ, as I mentioned. He took it off of Allen. 2014 pro MMA debut. Better striking stats than Allen, better grappling stats than Allen, more active landing strikes than Allen. And he's outstruck his opponents by 2.02 strikes per minute, minus 275 on Hernandez.
Yeah, I'm going Fluffy. I mean, like, I picked against him with Michel Pereira. I was like, the size is going to be too much. He's not going to be able to get his wrestling going.
We were
I doubted a whole bunch of it. My God, I mean, like, that just shows you what level his wrestling's at. And I think for a while we sort of like, oh, was the Rodolfo Vieira submission thing a fluke? And like now it's looking less and less like it was. And just like maybe we've been underestimating Anthony Hernandez because he's not like a chiseled middleweight as like being one of the more skilled guys in this division. Like, if he wins this, we're probably talking about a fight with, I know he said in his, I don't know if you saw the pre-fight lead up or anything, but he said he thought he should get Khamzat or he thought he should get DDP. Like he's probably going to get Kaibo Hayo or Nassourdine Mamavov with a win here. And like, that's how good he is. But like, it's the wrestling. And for me, that's why I like him against Arnold or Brendan Allen. Is that like, I'd like him against Arnold Allen too, by the way.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. It's a size thing. But Brendan Allen, like, I can't imagine he's going to keep up with him on the feet. And then like, Brendan Allen's thing is he's always kind of got the takedowns and the back takes in his back pocket. And it seems like he shouldn't have that here. It seems like basically all of his best attributes are kind of out the window. So yeah, I'll take Anthony Hernandez here. I think he dominates.
Yep, I agree. He already has beaten him. But yeah, as Gumby said,
that was a close fight, by the way.
Yeah, I don't see him being able to do much with Hernandez. Like, where is he going to beat him? Really, he's not beating him on the ground. He's probably not beating him on the feet. Hernandez is tough as nails as well. So yeah. Fluffy is the pick. I wish the line was a bit closer, but them's the breaks. All right. Before we get to our main event pick and our locks, dogs, props, parlays, maybe round robin, all that good stuff, let me tell you about Underdog, NBA, NHL, college basketball, whatever your sport, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasy. Pick them. Gummy's going to give you a winning play right now, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, I'm going to take the higher than on Brook Lopez's made 3-pointers. What do you think of that? That dude likes to fire. Yeah, the Bucks like to fire from deep. He's been throwing them up as of late. And I don't really trust Zubac to be able to defend him out on the 3-point line. So let's say he gets a couple on Thursday. So give me Brook Lopez's made 3-pointers.
All right. Take that and take our code MMA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash over at underdogfantasy.com. Promo code MMA SGPN. SGPN's partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. College basketball, NBA, golf, Rhythm has it all. Al Horford props. I said they have it all, and they have that as well. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RTHMM. All right, to our main event. This did not fall off. One of the rare fights that did not fall off. It is for nothing. It is 5-5 rounds at 135 bantamweight.
Pride. It's for pride.
It's for pride. Henry Cejudo, United States versus Yadong Song Yadong from China. Let's break it down by telling you about the messenger, Henry Cejudo. Stupid nickname. 16-4 with 8 knockouts.
He's the last time he used that.
Yeah, exactly. He's been knocked out once. Cringe, Henry Cejudo. 10-4 in the UFC. He's a 2-time champ. 2 weight classes, bantamweight and flyweight. Then the UFC called his bluff and he retired. He's lost 2 straight. Hasn't won 6. He's lost 2 straight. Before that, he won 6 straight. He's not fought since February 2024. He's not won since May of 2020. It's a long time. He's missed. He used to have a lot of issues.
Beat Dominic Cruz during the pandemic.
Used to have a lot of issues missing weight at 125, but he's at 135 now, and it doesn't matter. Regional champ, 2013 Pro MMA debut, an Olympic gold medalist in wrestling, better striking and grappling stats than Song. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.48 strikes per minute, plus 230. The Kung Fu Kid, Song Yadong. I don't think Kung Fu when I watch him fight, but nonetheless, 21-8-1 with 1 no contest, 9 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, 10-3-1 in the UFC. He's won 2 of 3 and 5 of 7. He did lose his last fight, though. He used to fight at 145 and 155. 0-1 and 1 championship. Now he's slumming it in the UFC. 2013 Pro MMA debut. 4 inches height, 3 inches of reach over Cejudo. 10 years younger. More active landing strikes than Cejudo. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.53 strikes per minute, minus 250. Taking Song. This is more a fade on Cejudo than anything. Song's still good, and he's still young. He's only 27, I think, despite being around forever. Obviously, the wrestling is always an issue, always a concern, and it's not like Cejudo's wrestling's going to go away just because he's older now. But he's just been so inactive and hasn't won fights for a long time, even though he's only fought the top guys in the weight class. I can't put any faith in him. I'm fighting a guy 10 years younger than him. So give me Song for more than a Song, minus 250.
Hot take, he hasn't fought the best guys in the division. That's why he left, is because he finagled a title defense against Dominic Cruz. Yeah. And remember who he won that title from too, right? Marlon Moraes.
Oh, you see, I forgot already. Marlon Moraes? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He wasn't the champion in the UFC.
TJ Dillashaw dropped the belt because he popped for roids.
Oh, yeah. Right.
And then there was a Marlon Moraes versus Henry Cejudo title shot. And then if you want to go back, I mean, he beat Mighty Mouse in that title fight, which you can say what you want about that. There's an argument that Mighty Mouse won that fight. And then his only defense at that weight class was the wildly depleted TJ Dillashaw down at 125 pounds. He hasn't fought the best guys in the division.
He's only lost to the best. Recently, who did he lose to? He lost to top guys. I can't remember who did he lose to.
He lost to Merab and Aljo.
Yeah, right. That's
those
what I meant. The top guys. I didn't say beat. I said fought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and my argument is he hasn't only fought, but recently, I guess. Yeah. Since the pandemic. The resume on Henry Cejudo is not nearly as impressive as people on the internet make it sound. I'm gonna go with Song too. I will, just say there was no interest in this line for me.
Yeah.
Because basically the only reason I can't get behind Henry Cejudo is I'm this is a mental space pick. This guy likes making social media pics and throwing up a video on YouTube and saying this funny thing and making sure he's in every single headline on MMA Junkie now because they don't know how to, write a headline that doesn't say Chael Sonnen thinks this or Henry Cejudo thinks this. That's Henry Cejudo's life now. I don't see him as being super competitive. If he was, he'd have been jumping back in there earlier after some of those losses. And, we'd be hearing about the improvements in his training camp and not all of this other stuff. So, I'm not sold that he's back in it. And it's weird to see him fighting a guy who it almost seems like it's hard. It would be hard for him to get excited about, no offense to Song Yadong, but he is not he's not Aljamain Sterling. He's not Merab Dvalishvili. He's not, even Dominic Cruz, he's not any of those guys. So I could see, Henry having motivation problems. Now, from a stylistic standpoint, the wrestling, like you said, is there. I think the speed is going to be a problem for him.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's where we're going to see a technical lead. But if we were just talking skill for skill, I'd maybe be interested in Song Yadong in the mid 100s. But as high as it is right now, it's a huge pass for me. I'm going to pick him as my official pick of this week. But yeah, that line is nuts.
Spoiler, it's not going to be our lock of the week. Doesn't look like. All right, recap.
I already have all of your stuff written down, by the way.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I got you.
Yep. Good, because I just figured it out myself, but you were ahead of me. Oh,
I got you.
I guess I gave away the one already. We got Song, we got Hernandez, we got Font, we got Silva. He's got Menifield. I have Walker. Gulp. The only thing we changed on. All right, locks, dogs, props, parlays, all that fun stuff. Gumby, I think is your turn to kick it off.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Veretennikov. I debated this back and forth about whether or not I wanted a guy who pulled out of a fight card and then went back into it. But I just think the gap between him and Austin Vanderford is so big. And Vanderford seems to be taking this on even less of a training camp. So yeah, give me Nikolai Veretennikov is my lock of the week.
We didn't even know Vanford was a fighter still. We didn't even know he was a UFC fighter.
I didn't know he was a fighter. We broke down his fight on LFA.
That's right. He fought in LFA last.
I think LFA 193.
Yep. There you go. Gumby knows all about Mr. Paige Van Zandt. All right. What's my lock, Gumby?
Is it Ibo Aslan?
It is Ibo Aslan. I guess I kind of tipped my hand. I said I really like the line, and you listen to yesterday's episode to hear why. But yeah, I like him against Jan Kudalaba, and I like the line. Obviously, I'm taking it as my lock. All right.
Dog and time. For my dog, which you're going to match on is Rob Font plus 150.
Yep. You're right.
You don't have a lot of dogs, and no. I scared you off of backing.
You poo-pooed my one.
Backing Julius Walker any more than you already have. So Rob Font will be both of our lock plays.
Yep.
For my or for our dog plays, and then for my prop of the week, I'm going to go Mansur Abdul-Malik, who's negative 800. So it's hard to figure out a way to make him profitable. Yeah. But when I was dipping into lines, his first round knockout, which by the way, he's only gone into the second round with one fighter before ever. And it was Wes Schultz, who he TKO'd in the second round instead of the first. His KO in the first round props, even money. Okay. I'll take Mansur Abdul-Malik to continue knocking people out in the first round at even money. And it's Nick Klein. You know, he's tough. He's a Pura Vida guy, but I don't know that he avoids it. So yeah, give me Mansur Abdul-Malik first round KO.
Probably shows that it's a good play because it's even money. Usually those things are much higher for something that specific. And as Gumby knows, my prop play is Basharat inside the distance plus 285. Gumby dropped that line on me yesterday and blew my mind. So I got the Snow Leopard finishing Ricky Simon any way he pleases at plus 285. All right, so Veritanikov and Aslan are the locks. Font is our dog, our collective dog. Abdul-Malik first round knockout and Basharat inside the distance are our locks. Now, Super Hunger Man Jong, Superfan parlay or round robin. What's it going to be?
So I'm only going to go parlay. Okay. I was trying to build a round robin, and the reason I dropped that Basharat line on you is because usually I need 4 to feel good about a round robin. I try to make it a 5. And I only made it to 3. So I was like, Basharat inside the distance was the odd man out here. So the first one I like Cirquiera by KO. I mentioned before that I think he throws much better than Modi does on the feet. And as long as he doesn't get taken down repeatedly, you should knock him out. Plus 375 on the knockout prop for Rafael Cirquiera. And then I'm going to pair that with Rob Font by decision. Rob Font's not finishing a lot of people lately, and we both just picked him at plus 150. You can get plus 250 for him winning by decision. Nice. So you're going to get an extra 100 on it. And like, are you really worried he's going to finish Gian Matsumoto? I'm not. No. So when you put those two together, you're going to get plus 1562.
All right. Cirquiera via knockout, Font decision, 1562. All right. You're all set for UFC Seattle. You can chat more about it in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. In our comments on our YouTube channel, MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Tell a friend. Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Reeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. My writing can be found, of course, on sportsgamblingpodcast.com, but also at moneymma.substack.com. Gumby talks more at Top Turtle MMA. This week, he has on an Octagon champ and a fighter we just spoke of. Tell the people.
Yeah, Mansur Abdul-Malik, who, obviously we're very high on. And then Sam Creasy, the flyweight champion, defending his belt this weekend.
And we're big on Octagon, too. It looks like, according to YouTube, we're getting some new fans, too. People are saying they're going to watch Octagon for the first time. So good. We're winning the people over. Of course, we're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. And, of course, if you want to sign up for mybookie.ag or underdogfantasy.com, MMA SGPN is your code. No Guppy's going to bid you farewell until Sunday.
All right, I'm Dana Guppy Freeland. He's Jeff Triple Chalks Fox, and we will see you on Sunday.